Hey 4xe fans, got some cool news for the 2024 Wrangler 4xe anyway. This news is not anything I came up with or discovered on my own. This actually comes from Robert S. Miller at Mopar Insiders. This video is neither sponsored, condoned, or promoted by Mopar Insiders. They didn't give me any permission to use this information, but I think if it's out there, it's okay as long as I give them credit for where this news is coming from. And there's some cool stuff coming to the Wrangler 4xe in 2024. The first thing is that the high altitude will now be a standalone trim. In the past, if you weren't aware, the high altitude was a very cool Sahara. You know, it was like a Sahara high altitude. But that's not going to be the case. Apparently, the high altitude is going to be its own trim level going forward. Traditionally, in the past, you had a Sport, you had a Sahara, you had a Rubicon, and then all these other versions came away from that. You had a, like Sport Willis version, and I think there was a, the Sahara high altitude. There were these different versions that came from those three basic trims, and that looks like the high altitude is going to be spun off as its own, and it seemed like that was only in the 4xe. It did, at least from what he said on his post and what I found in other writings, that seemed to be a 4xe thing. I'm not sure. There will be a 20th anniversary version of the Rubicon. We're celebrating 20 years of the Rubicon's creation, and there will be a 20th anniversary Rubicon 4xe version. So that's really cool. These last two are the two I'm excited about, and I don't even know which one I'm more excited about. So in no particular order, there will finally be a Sport 4xe. A lot of people have been waiting on that. The lower priced of the multiple trims is the Sport, and there's finally going to be a Sport 4xe. It was actually developed in 2020 and just never released. So that's really cool that that's finally going to happen. And there are a few Sport 4xes running around in the engineering leases that people have kind of kept their mouths quiet about it, but now maybe they can post about it and they can share with us what they see in the Sport 4xe. And what I learned from the engineer that led the project was that the Sport is actually the most efficient over the Sahara and the Rubicon because it's got smaller wheels. Then I assume it won't come with the 20-inch rims like the Sahara does, and of course not the KO2s like the Rubicon does. So that's that exciting news. Now this part, I think a lot of people will find exciting. Jeep has apparently listened to the community, and they are going to allow some sort of power use off of the high voltage battery for camping. I imagine there will be a bigger inverter, and in that inverter will have access to the high voltage system. I mean, it'll have to drop the voltage down, of course, but in some way, shape, or form, I don't know if it's through the IDCM, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to allow power use from the high voltage battery. So that's been a big thing that a lot of people have wanted out of the 4xe. I camped in mine one night and found that I will never camp in mine again, just because I'm 6'4" and I'm too long. I'm just too big to sleep in the back of this thing. So I'll either be doing a tent or a cabin or a hotel room on future trips. I mean, I slept, but it would have been nice to have some sort of power to run a small little backseat heater or something, so that would have been cool. So that's the cool things. You can check out Robert S. Miller on Mopar Insiders, and I got to tell you, I'm a fan because I don't think there is another reporter on the face of the planet that has been more accurate and on the leading edge of what's happening in the 4xe platform all across the Jeep stuff. They just do a great job at Mopar Insiders, and every time I see an article from Robert S. Miller, I know it's going to be right, the information's going to be accurate, and that's just something I'm a big fan of. So thanks for watching. Excited about 2024. Let me know in the comments below what else you'd like to see in future versions of the Wrangler 4xe. Take care.